Hey guys, and welcome to F1 Unfiltered. I am your host as always, Luther, and today it's not going to be just me. It's a race week, so we have to do something special. I'm going to be battling against the man behind the camera who will come in front of the camera on this episode of F1 Unfiltered as we debate whether or not Lando Norris is the worst title challenger of all time.
Okay, so my argument will lie in the fact that McLaren have let Norris down. I don't think they even know who their number one driver is. They waited too long. At the time of asking Piastri in Azerbaijan, okay, look, we're going to prioritise Lando Norris, Piastri was more than 100 points behind Verstappen.
I simply want to ask you guys a question, the people that are listening, and including you, Yanni. I want to ask you this question. You put Lewis Hamilton in that McLaren. You put Charles Leclerc in that McLaren. You put Fernando Alonso in that McLaren. You put George Russell in that McLaren. I haven't even got to the main man yet. You put Max Verstappen in that McLaren. And this one's going to hit home, Yanni. You put 2017 Daniel Ricciardo or 2016 Daniel Ricciardo in that McLaren. Because I think every single one of those drivers that I just listed is ahead by a significant margin of Max Verstappen right now if you put them in that McLaren.
You see, all those drivers that Luther mentioned, the Ricciardos 2017, the Lewis Hamiltons, Charles who? They didn't have a driver that was better than them or that was battling them as the second driver, right? Ricciardo was the driver for Red Bull, but then Red Bull made the cutthroat decision of, I'm sorry, Ricciardo, we're prepared to lose you because we've got an even better driver coming through, which could be the Piastri of McLaren, right? Leclerc now is number one, clearly. Hamilton's number one. All these drivers didn't have any distraction. That's what Luther's missing out on. They had no distraction. History tells us that you cannot play it nice. You cannot have two number one drivers. And who knows that better than anyone else? Shout out, McLaren. To Lewis and Alonso, you cannot play it nice. We go back to even further, Senna and Prost.
In my opinion, this season, Lando Norris has not shown at any point that he deserved to be prioritised by his team. I do just believe that there have been times where his ability to not win races, say Spa, you've got Max Verstappen starting in, 15th or something, I may be wrong, sorry, and Lando Norris starting further up the grid. First of all, he misses out on pole position, and then he drops back from the start, and Max Verstappen is right behind him by lap 4. That was his perfect opportunity to make up as many points as possible, and he finished that race behind Verstappen. You think Lewis Hamilton is missing out on that chance to make those points up? You think Charles Leclerc is missing out on that chance to make those points up? You think Alonso is? Max Verstappen wouldn't do that. Whenever there was a problem in the Lewis Hamilton battle, I look back at Russia, Sochi, where Verstappen started so far back. By the end of the race, he was on the podium. He made sure to cut that gap as much as possible to minimise the points he lost to Hamilton. That's what great drivers do.
Give Norris the championship, put everything behind him, and see him thrive with the pressure lifted from his team and the support that he has. Rosberg won it in 2016, right? That was the only season Rosberg won it, and then he retired. He retired probably for many reasons, but one of the glaring reasons for me is that he knew that he couldn't battle Hamilton for that many seasons. This was his only chance to win the championship, so Mercedes backed him. It got to the point where, okay, Rosberg, we're putting everything behind you because you're the one that's on track to winning the championship, so we'll do it. Hamilton, even the way he tried it in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix when he was backing up everyone, Mercedes got angry at Hamilton. And you wouldn't think that Mercedes would ever get angry at Hamilton. But they got angry at him. And then after in the summer, it took Hamilton and Wolff some time to make up because of what happened.
The fact that Lando Norris is not leading this title right now is not a case of McLaren messing up. Because McLaren have messed up, don't get it wrong. I'm a Ferrari fan. I love seeing McLaren mess up. I'm just going to give you some quite literal facts. So let's go back to China. In China, Lando Norris qualified first in the sprint qualifying. He finished 6th. Max Verstappen finished first in both the race and in the sprint race. In Miami, Lando Norris won his first F1 race that he's ever won because Max Verstappen had damage. After Miami, Lando Norris has had the fastest car in F1 since that point. The next race, Max Verstappen got 8 seconds ahead of him in a slower car and won the race. In Monaco, Lando Norris had the fastest car, at least the second fastest car, finished 2 places ahead of Max Verstappen, 4th and 6th. In Canada, Max Verstappen had the 3rd fastest car on the grid. Do you know who had the fastest car? Lando Norris. Max Verstappen won, Lando Norris finished 2nd. In Spain, Lando Norris had the fastest car and finished behind Max Verstappen. In Britain, Lando Norris had the fastest car by miles and finished third. In Hungary, he wasn't good enough to beat his teammate. In Belgium, Lando Norris started, I think, third. Max Verstappen started 15th. Checks notes, Max Verstappen finished fourth, Lando Norris finished fifth.
Had they reversed a couple of decisions, in Hungary, for example, why? I know it's Piastri's first race to win, but just think about the championship. Just let Norris win it. He's undercut him. Piastri, I'm so sorry. In this situation, you're so far back in the championship. Norris would get 25 points from the victory. Let's do it. In Monza, okay, already Piastri made the mistake. Some would say mistake, some would say genius move, right? To overtake Norris. That you let then Charles Leclerc go first. Why not swap second with third? Why not let Norris just finish second, get the 3 points gap? Instead, now you're just chasing points that you should have given before in the other races. Why are you not just switching it? What difference does it make there, the second and third? Is Piastri going to be like, oh no, I should have been second there? Who really remembers second as a racer anyway? Had McLaren not made the mistakes they made in the Drivers' Championship, in the races before the summer, in terms of Silverstone, in terms of Spain, etc., they could have led, going into the summer break, the Constructors' Championship. That then could have meant, okay, let's focus on Norris and give him the Drivers' Championship. Now, my point is, do McLaren simply not care about who wins the Drivers' Championship and only care about the Constructors because that's what brings in money? And that's a win for Zach Brown, and that's a win for Andrea Stella, and that's a win for their sponsors.
How Lando Norris could prove himself to be the title rival that the British media do want him to be is by dominating Oscar Piastri. The reason Fernando Alonso didn't become the number one driver that he thought he was going to be at McLaren was because he didn't dominate the young Lewis Hamilton. Massa comes into Ferrari. What does Michael Schumacher do? Win, win, and win. If you are that good, you beat your teammate. If you're that good, you collect the points you need. If you're that good, you would be ahead of Max Verstappen. Lando Norris simply is not good enough to battle someone like Verstappen. This guy right here doesn't have the ability. But the crazy thing is, I think in a few years, the person next to him will.